Democrat Hillary Clinton says she's feeling really good about the state of her campaign despite the loss to Bernie Sanders in Wisconsin. In an interview with CNN, Clinton emphasized that she is still ahead in the game in the delegate count. Let's see what's next for Clinton's campaign. I'm joined now from Washington by CNN political commentator Patty Solis-Doyle. She's Clinton's former campaign manager. Great to have you with us, Patty.
Thank you for having me.
Now, Sanders has had 7 consecutive wins. He's doing much better than anyone had anticipated at the start, but he does have a long way to go. And as Hillary Clinton pointed out, he needs to win about 77% of the remaining delegates or hope that super delegates will switch to him. Is that possible?
Well, look, delegates are not pledged delegates by definition, and they don't vote actually until the actual convention. But Bernie Sanders' whole theory behind the superdelegates switching over is that he will have the will of the people. He will have the majority of the votes, and so therefore they should switch. But that really doesn't make sense because Hillary Clinton is not only winning almost an insurmountable lead in the pledged delegates, but she's also winning with the popular vote. She has more than 2.5 million more votes than Senator Sanders. And these are votes that are comprised of a broad coalition of support from across the country in different regions of the country.
Now, Senator Sanders recently gave an interview to the New York Daily News. It was published a couple of days ago, and it really seemed to show some weaknesses when it comes to answering questions about both domestic and foreign policy. And he spoke about one of the main examples was his constant pledge to break up the big banks. He could not say how he would do it. Should voters be concerned about that?
Well, yes, I think voters should be very concerned about that. I think that editorial board with the New York Daily News really lays bare what Hillary Clinton has been saying for many months now, and that is, while Bernie Sanders' heart is very much in the right place, and while they agree on most issues, Hillary has a real plan on how to get the plan for those issues, those ideas actually get done, while Bernie Sanders hasn't really quite thought it through and doesn't have a plan. And I think in this stage of the game, we are now in April. They've been running for president for, a year now. I think at this stage, he really should have a detailed plan on how to get it done, and he just didn't.
Hillary Clinton was asked about the substance to Sanders' policies a short time ago, and she spoke to my colleague Chris Cuomo. Let's just take a listen to what she had to say.
How much more substance does he need other than, I want to break up the banks, we'll figure out how. I want to go after ISIS, I'll figure out where I interrogate them.
Well, it's going to be up to the voters to decide.
But a lot of people would say, Secretary, it's about what you want to do. You'll figure out how later.
Yeah, well, that's not the way I've seen it work over a lot of years and a lot of reading of history. I think the presidents who are successful know what they want to do and they know how to do it.
So going forward, how is Hillary Clinton going to play those weaknesses against him?
Well, CNN is hosting a debate on the 14th here in Brooklyn, New York, and I think that in that debate she is really going to have a format to really highlight the differences in terms of her actual specific plans. I worked for Hillary Clinton for a very long time, for 17 years, and one of the things that I have always admired about her is that this is a woman who really sort of rolls up her sleeves, does her homework, and before she goes out there, she knows every aspect of the issue, she knows what the problem is, and she also has a solution to solve that problem. Bernie Sanders has yet to show us that side of his candidacy, and I think in these tenuous times in our country and around the world, I think voters are really looking for someone with specific plans on how to get things done, and she's the one who has them.
The only concern, I guess, one of the concerns she has is the likability factor. How will she overcome that?
Well, her lead with 2.5 million more votes, I think, counters that theory. I don't agree with the premise of the question. I think she's very likable, and the number of votes she has and the number of delegates she has speaks to that.